Hello, listeners. This is your host, Camilleri, and I welcome you to another episode of PwC Malta's Trend Talks. I'm starting off by sharing some numbers with you, which will surely help introduce today's guest. So, 20% of the firm's employees are currently expatriates, and we have nothing less than 26 different nationalities currently working within the firm. I think you've guessed. My guest is a colleague from the expat community. Welcome, Vyas.
Hi, Liz. Good morning.
A senior manager in our advisory practice. Thank you for accepting to join me today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And I will start off by asking you my first question. So, I'm very interested to hear your journey as well. How did it start and why Malta?
Okay, that's the magic question, right?
Yes.
But my journey didn't start accidentally. So my journey as an expatriate did not start accidentally. I always had in mind someday to explore other shores than my country, than Mauritius. And whatever I did after leaving university was geared towards that particular goal, right? So
Okay.
I got the opportunity back then as a fresh graduate to join PwC Mauritius. Previously, is known to be a global net. Back then, I was still a young associate.
It was already a good starting point.
It was already a good starting point. So I knew it was a global firm. So I said, okay, if I want to explore other shores someday, that's the place to be.
Mm-hmm.
Started my career with PwC Mauritius. And I started studying ACCA because I know it's a well-known, recognized qualification around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And said
It would help you achieve your purpose eventually.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, since I was in the sphere of internal auditing, I also did CIA, which is a certified certification, which also is quite recognized in the industry, in the profession. Although at some point my career took a slight different path after I at some point, I still kept the long-term goal in mind. And
you were very determined to make it happen.
Yes, yes, I was very determined. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you why this wish to explore another culture, another territory?
I think it's sort of the thirst for adventure, or meeting new people, new cultures, and sort of Mauritius. Okay, I came to another island, but Mauritius is also an island, right?
Yes.
And you can. It's beautiful, it's amazing, but you can only do so much. And
we know the feeling.
Yes. and I had friends back then who, luckily for them, they were out of the country, they were studying or they were working. I said, hey, it's something. The experience when they came back, not only sort of the people experience, the work experience seems always something I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And
in fact, I was going to tell you, from the way you are explaining it to me, it feels like the professional side was the stepping stone to help you achieve what you wanted to achieve as an individual in terms of your personal growth.
Exactly on point. I think I didn't think of it as back then, but now thinking back, it's exactly
the main objective was that
I used my career for my personal objective.
Mm-hmm.
That worked fantastic. That worked really well for me.
Back to your journey. What happened next?
Yes. So as okay, I won't lie. So as most people trying to leave the country, the main targets are the bigger cities or the bigger countries that you know, Luxembourg, Paris, London, and so on and so forth. Right. So. Even mainland Africa, so the bigger countries that come to mind. So obviously, it's a whole process, right? To applying, to apply, to build your CV every time, send your CV. So quite a lengthy process, especially when you come from a non-EU country. It's even more challenging.
I can imagine.
And back then, Zoom meetings, Google Meet meetings were there, but
yes, not with the same frequency.
Yes, so back then it was Skype, so it was Skype interviews and stuff like that. So quite a challenge, quite a long process, right? And by chance, I came across. So I was very active on LinkedIn, as you can imagine. I saw a vacancy at PwC Malta. The internal audit team was looking for someone to bolster the team, right? And of course, obviously, I applied. And I have to admit, at this point, I did not know much about Malta. I just knew it's an island.
Don't worry, you're not the first one saying that. Don't
worry. But little did I know it would change my life so much. But in any case, I didn't know much about Malta, and it's an island, but more or less similar to Mauritius. I thought back then, and PwC Malta responded to my call. Right, they responded to my call, to my application. I jumped on the opportunity. Obviously, didn't think twice about it, and aced my interviews. I did my interviews back then. There was George, and but there was no looking back. So I like to say that Malta chose me rather than I chose Malta.
I like this interpretation of it.
I like to say that because I love it here. Mm-hmm. So I like to say.
So Malta was right.
Yeah, Malta was right.
Okay, so your first step was done.
First step done. So interviews but then the hardest part was to come, in the sense as you can imagine. There's a whole process, like to apply for the work permit and to get the paperwork sorted. The firm was extremely supportive, obviously, and supportive. They did everything. The HC team helped me for the whole process. And not to mention, obviously, I'm an only child, so it was quite. I had to bring the news to my parents, obviously.
Yes.
So
probably this was more difficult than the Skype calls or even the CV.
So that was that, and So after some time, I think.
But now I think your parents should be proud, and you can tell them, like, hello, you're actually on a podcast in Malta, you've gone a long way.
It's been a long way. It feels like yesterday, but it's been a long way. And no, I definitely I wouldn't be here today without the sacrifices of my parents. I'll be nothing without that. So I'll be forever grateful to them, and yes, definitely.
We need to make sure they listen to this.
I have to. I have them listen to this for sure. And they've managed even to visit me once here, and they really enjoy it here, and they really like it. So they can't wait to be back. Actually, hopefully after the dust settles with COVID and stuff like that.
Vyas, you are one of the first expats who have actually made it to senior manager grade, so well done for that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What do you think were the ingredients to help you succeed? And what does it mean to you personally to have made it to this grade in a foreign territory, in a different community?
Well, I started as what we call an M1. Back then it was the assistant manager position in the internal audit team. I came here with the mindset of doing what I can in the sense, doing my best, and then we leave it to the universe. And making it to a senior manager position today is more about the title here. It's not about the title. It's about the faith that the firm has placed in me and the partners, etc. And more so, it's not an achievement it's not an achievement just for me, right? It's something that would have been built based from the values my parents have inculcated in me, from the team I have surrounding me who make me want to come into your office with a smile every day, and also the as I said, the faith the partners have in me, which led me to be in that position today.
I must say that the way you explained it shows very much that you have the BWC core values at heart, because even the fact that you're sharing, your success with the people around you, it's very commendable.
Our work is very team-based. We work in teams.
100%, yes.
I couldn't have done that without the help of those around me. So, yes, that's I think that sort of summarizes what I feel being in a senior management position today within the firm. I think it's something I didn't even think of when I started. It was something.
So you can say you have actually exceeded your own expectations along the journey.
I think so, yeah.
And there's still a long way to go as well.
There's still a long way to go, and there's still a long way to go. So, and I'm ready for it.
Can I ask you, obviously I'm Maltese, so my experience within the firm was slightly different.
Yes.
What can you share with us in terms of your growth, the opportunities that have been provided to you, actually making friends, living here on a day-to-day basis? How do you feel that?
From a professional point of view, I didn't feel any sort of distinction between me being expatriate or another one being Maltese, right? I was treated equally. I felt that I had the same opportunities than my colleagues, so that's yeah. And personally, then it's another game, not in a bad way, but obviously you change in country, you come to a new place, you have a whole network to build, and that was one. I think that was another angle to my adventure. As I said, this was the professional adventure, but then the personal adventure, and that's the fantastic part as well, because you not only meet the local Maltese person who now some of them are like family to me, but there's a huge expatriate community from around the globe, and you have made new friends. It's obviously a challenge as well. You have to be open to new people, open to going out with people you don't know, and that's quite challenging, but such a beautiful challenge, such a beautiful journey.
I think the way you are explaining it was successful as well, because you didn't see it exclusively as a challenge, as a hurdle, but primarily it was an opportunity.
Exactly.
For you to expand your life journey as well and to grow.
That was the whole purpose of moving at the first place, to meet new people as well, to make new friends, to explore new cultures. So I just embraced whoever I met, and that really changed it changes your whole life in a way, sort of the way you think, the way you process stuff. You can put yourself in others' shoes, but in a different manner, because you hear so many life stories that you wouldn't have heard otherwise.
I would like to go a bit back to when you stated that Malta chose you. I like that quote. In what way has Malta chosen you, and how it has helped you grow? What change has Malta done to you?
The thing about Malta is, what I like about Malta is its simplicity. Let me explain myself here. Malta can be a bubbling scene with bars, great nightlife, and fantastic food.
Your typical, assessment on the island.
Yes. But aside of it, that some might not know as a tourist, but as an expatriate, you get to experience, is also the sort of peaceful and quiet Malta, in the sense, once you settle in, you have your place, you can easily create a very peaceful and healthy routine for yourself. You have your grocery store next to you, who starts greeting you every day because now they know you. There's the vegetable seller down the road who also starts, greeting you, even giving you discounts, and you have your butcher next to you. Sort of that's that simplicity of just getting down on the road and random people knowing you, your butcher, as I mentioned, your vegetable seller. It creates a relationship, and this is the simplicity that I like. And something that's personal. I have a scooter here, and nothing beats exploring Malta and Gozo, the sister island, obviously, on a sunny day. It's
I have to try that.
Yes, it's fantastic. It's fantastic, and it really, for me, symbolizes the simplicity and the beauty of the island.
It's impressive that you are making me as well look at my own island from a different perspective. Yes, certain items, descriptions you are making, they are very obvious to me, but at the same time, I have never seen them in the light that you are sharing them now.
Yeah, no, I think given that I'm an expatriate, I explore the island in a different way.
Yes,
I see it with different eyes than you've grown up here. It's your home.
True.
Yes. It's a different feeling. But I have to say that I all these factors have made Malta my second home. I would say definitely.
Very nice to hear.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, we're very close to the expat community in general.
Yes.
And regularly, constantly, we have various recruitment campaigns encouraging people like you to come to Malta and join the PwC Malta firm. What would your message of encouragement, of taking that step, what would be your what message would you share with them?
I would tell them not to think twice about making the leap. Of course, everyone's experience will be unique, but you will never know until you try. And I think Malta is a great country to live in addition to having sunshine nearly all year round. There's fantastic beaches, the views, and most importantly, the friendships that you can make around.
Vyas, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
I admire your courage, your values and priorities, and your sense of adventure as well. Apart from the love you have from our little island. Well done for your success within the firm. I'm sure it's not going to stop here. Thanks again for joining me. Thanks also to our listeners, and stay tuned for the next episode.